What it do, my fellow witches and wizards? Anthony Olan here, back with another game review, and today we're reviewing Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Now, is this the next big esports game, or will this quickly hop out a window like a chocolate frog? Let's find out. Now, to start your career, you will go through a well-crafted Weasley tutorial where you will learn the basic controls and roles of each of your 4 team positions. You have basic acceleration, boost, how to maneuver around the field, how to dodge, etc. And with the 4 positions, you have, as you probably already know, Chaser, Keeper, Beater, and Seeker. Now, the default controls felt really weird and wonky, but you are able to customize and remap your controls for your better playstyle. And you also will create a custom character for each of the positions on your team, with your default being the Chaser. So if you're looking to customize a character who looks like you for your Seeker position, wait until you go through the Seeker tutorial to make that character if you want to play as a Seeker who looks like you. However, in the menus after the tutorial, you can change the position of each player if you want to, so that's the option as well. Now, after the tutorial, you would take part in one of the 4 cups, and each one is unlocked by progressing through the previous cup, which consists of a tournament-style bracket where you will face off against different teams, depending on which cup you are choosing. So the first cup being the Hogwarts Cup, you would choose one of the 4 houses to represent, hashtag Team Slytherin, as you will face off against the other houses, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw. After which you can go into the Triwizard Cup, where you will face off against the 2 opposing schools from the Goblet of Fire, whose names I can't remember right now because they're very complicated, but if you know the movies and the books, you know who I'm talking about. The game also has characters from the movies who will appear and will talk to you before each match, whether it's a helpful tip or they're trying to trash talk you. Now, in solo play, you will be responsible for switching between all of your positions to help you gain the win. Although your AI companions are pretty good at scoring and defending, you can't always rely on them to get that victory. So let's go over each position and what they do. Now, as a Chaser, your job is to obtain the Quaffle and try to shoot it through one of the 3 goal hoops on the opposing team. You can also pass the Quaffle to a teammate, which is going to be needed as opposing team players can strike you and steal the Quaffle, and they will do that very often. And scoring a goal with the Quaffle is worth only 10 points like it is in the lore. Now, as a beater, you have the option to attract a bludger to you, which you can then use as a weapon to strike an opposing teammate from a distance, or you can go up close and personal and strike them with your bat. And basically, your role as a beater is offense. Your job is to take down the opposing team players with your given weapons and abilities, which will then prevent your team from hurting your teammates and preventing you from scoring. Pretty brutal if you ask me. Now, as a keeper, which is possibly the most boring position here, you're basically a goalie. Your job is to protect the 3 goal rings and prevent the other team from scoring, which can be pretty simple by holding R1 and using the right stick to move between each of the goals, but sometimes they will have that way to kind of trick you and score into one of your goalposts. Now, as a keeper, the other job is to create these blue rings on the field that your teammates will fly through, which will basically recharge their boost as they fly through it to help them gain more speed and try to reach the other side of the field quickly. And finally, the role of the Seeker, which is the one that everybody wants to play. Now, I don't know what the Seeker's role is supposed to be during the game, except for waiting for the golden snitch to appear. And basically, after a certain amount of time passes, the snitch will come out and you have to find it and follow it, and basically fly through the golden rings that it will leave behind, which will increase your speed and refill your boost meter so that you can be the first Seeker to catch the snitch. Pretty similar to Superman 64, only better. And of course, the more rings you go through, the faster you will get to move. Now, during my time, I never noticed an opposing team Seeker attempting to catch the snitch, so it's been pretty easy to catch the golden snitch. Now, however, unlike the movies and the books, the snitch is not worth 150 points, however, it is worth 30 points in the game, and it does not end the game either, it just gives you that 30 points when you capture it. So the team with the highest points by the end of the game wins, and you can expect the golden snitch to appear at least twice in the match. As far as I can see, there may not be any overtime option, as I haven't had a game where the teams were tied up for a lengthy amount of time, so if that is an option, I am unaware of it. Now, as you progress through the career mode, you will gain some in-game currency, which is used to purchase new clothing options, like the really creepy Hagrid paper mask, as well as other broomsticks, and you can also gain experience points, which you can use to level up one of your teammates' stats. And as far as I can see, there are no microtransactions in the game, which is awesome. And unfortunately, though, career mode does not seem very lengthy from what I can tell, and maybe a larger focus was spent for online play rather than solo. And the game hasn't been very challenging to me at all either. Yeah, there are games where the opposing team is scoring and knocking me off my broom, but nothing too challenging where I was having a hard time winning a game. So it is a pretty simple game in terms of the difficulty. You are also able to increase difficulty of career mode as you unlock them throughout your career progress. Now, I have to imagine if you play this game online, basically each teammate will stick to one role primarily, and that might be an issue if everyone on your team wants to play the Seeker and no one wants to play the Keeper, but every role is basically important in this game and everyone has a role to play that they have to basically succeed in. Especially as a beater with that offensive abilities, you have to be there for your teammates to help them out, since the chasers are basically defenseless when they're in possession of the Quaffle, and they also move a bit slower while holding the Quaffle, making the opposing team much easier to attack you and steal the ball from you. So every teammate does have their role and they must play it successfully if you want to get that win. Now, if you are a subscriber to PlayStation Plus, the game is free and it is definitely worth a try. Now, is this going to be the next big esports? Well, I don't know, because there is a big learning curve with the game, especially with the controls. And if you're playing solo, you're going to be bouncing around from position to position. It can be pretty tricky and difficult at times to do that and be very comfortable in your playstyle, especially with the wonky controls. Even after remapping, they're still a little bit wonky. But if the game does gain more popularity and continues to grow, it could possibly be an esport game in the future, or if they might make a different one that is a bit more developed a bit better. Not to say the game is developed poorly, it's very well developed. The controls are pretty responsive, which is great, and the graphics are really good for what they are. The art style is very nice and very great to look at. And when it comes to the in-game commentary, while it is a little bit repetitive like most sports games, it was actually fairly accurate to what's going on in the game. It actually is accurate to when a Quaffle was stolen, or when there's a fumble, or when someone scores, or when a snitch appears. So props to the team for developing that in the game. But ultimately, if you have a chance to play this game for free, why not? Give it a shot. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're a fan of Harry Potter like I am. If you're hashtag Team Slytherin, let me know in the comments. Maybe we could play a game together online or something. I'll even give up the Seeker role if you want. I'll play Chaser if you want me to. But that's kind of my review for Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game. Are you playing it? Are you skeptical? Let me know and we'll talk about it in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.